Hi guys. This video, by the way, is not about insisting that Charles Lechmere was the Ripper, okay? It's just about what I've been able to find out about him. In my continuing research into Charles Lechmere and constantly searching the internet all over the place, looking for new Lechmere related material, I thought, well, I might as well do my own because everybody else is dragging their feet. Come on, what are you doing, House Lechmere? You're the experts, what are you doing? I ache for some more info from those guys. It's a great channel to watch, and it's linked in the description. Okay, in this video, I just want to go over my theories based on what I've seen and heard so far. For instance, why call himself Cross at the Nichols inquest, right? Everybody wants to know that, unless you're convinced it wasn't him, of course. I have my own ideas as to why he could have possibly gotten away with that one, because when he was around 12 years old, he was known on the census as Cross because his stepfather Thomas, obviously married to his mother, was, I believe his mother, by the way, she had a few bigamous marriages, and she would, I'd guess, a larger than life character, and must have had some kind of impact on Charles, in his early, middle, and later life. I don't know, but in some ways, she seems a bit of a dodgy character to me. But anyway, back to his stepfather, and I can relate to being a stepfather because stepfather stepson relationship, because I've been one. I've been a stepfather myself. So I get to thinking, what would I do personally to encourage my stepson in getting a job? And I went to one of my stepson's, his place of work the other day, and he's got his own yard, and I'm really proud of the fact that he's done so well for himself. So well done, lad. Well done. I get to thinking, what would I do to encourage my stepson getting a job? Now, if his stepfather was someone he could look up to and basically have a kind of mutual respect kind of thing going on, then Thomas Cross, his father, the police officer, could have been very instrumental in securing a position at Pitford's. Maybe this is how it transpired. That is, if he was alive at the time, because I know he died quite young, Mr. Thomas Cross. So very early on, he would have used the name Cross at his place of work. I know, though, by 1870, Charles met his wife, Elizabeth, and they were married in that year, and they went on to have over 10 children. But, and this is a big but, they were Mr. and Mrs. Lechmere, and all the children would obviously have had the same surname. So using the name Cross at work would have been the name was known as because he was the son of a police officer. But I can't help thinking that he was still officially Lechmere, even at Pitford's. And my point is, if he did the right legal thing in marriage, then if he was a normal guy, then the Cross name would have been, it would have been irrelevant. I mean, why use that name? When all the official documents were all signed Lechmere? It doesn't make sense to me. Unless, when up to no good, he could fall back on the Cross name as a kind of safety net, maybe, I know there was an incident involving the death of a small child. He was about 4 years old, I believe, in 1876, under the wheels of Charles's his wagon. It said Charles Cross was the driver, and it was determined that it wasn't his fault. It was just a tragic accident. It was driven by him, and it would confirm that he used that Cross name in his place of work. But I can't help thinking that it was a name of convenience. It's a strange one because Lechmere was always there officially, but in some instances he was Mr. Cross. His protective instincts, probably by using the Cross name, helped to keep his family out of anything bad like this tragic accident, for example. I could be talking rubbish there, I don't know. But every time this guy moved, Lechmere was the head of the household. No census records exist of any of this guy's addresses where Charles Cross was head of that household. Now, I want to quote an article read about upheavals in Charles's life that may be true or not. So here's the quote. I'll read it out to you. First, his living arrangements altered. He ceased to be welcome in the home he shared with his wife and 8 children. I mean, this is news to me, this. Then the family fractured further as one daughter, his second eldest, fled the nest. She went to stay with her grandmother. Lechmere was then forced to take temporary lodgings. Okay? So in the Victorian East End, family homes were basic. Lodgings were far worse. He had to remain at his backbreaking work at Pickfords to cover costs. End quote. So if this happened, then maybe it could have been a trigger to taking out his frustrations, perhaps, you know. Again, I'm just exploring this man's mindset, and it should help anyone start to make a psychological profile of this man. A broken home, not knowing his real father, a big family risk resulting with his daughter living with his mother for whatever reason. At the end of the day, most people who have had family trauma issues or a particularly bad series of events throughout their lives don't go around mutilating dead bodies. You have to have a serious sickness to do that. I've even explored the possibility of trying to find out who else worked for Pickford in 1888, and maybe knew Charles, and if he was in any way dodgy perhaps, and had some serious doubts about his mental state, and if so, were there any tales circulate about Mr. Cross, Lechmere, whatever he's called at Pickford's, and those tales passed down throughout their families, you know. I mean, if you had an ancestor work for Pickford's in 1888, then I'd surely love to hear from you. Seriously, you know, you may have some stories that might be of interest, even if it's just the slightest little thing, you know. You'd try anything, you know what I mean, if you was really obsessed like I am in trying to get information on somebody that, you know, he has great interest to me, because, you know, it's, for me, it's still to this day the only realistic suspect, in my opinion. You know, so that's my excuse for having such a far-fetched idea and to simply finding out about Mr. Lechmere, you know what I mean? One thing I find, as a side note, when searching YouTube for Lechmere-related Jack the Ripper videos, are the same names cropping up that are all with one goal in mind. Discredit Lechmere theory in every way you can, be insulting and ignorant, and turn it into a kind of nasty argument that just leaves a bad taste in the mouth. And most of all, well, not all, but, you know, they don't back up their ideas and just offer anything interesting to say in return. Once again, I'll say not all. Some do give you some very valid points, which I had recently in a comment section I was reading on one of my videos for my virtual walk down Butts Row. There's 3 of them videos, by the way, so check them out. They don't offer anything interesting to say in return. And I can't see them as anything other than just trolls. And believe me, after over 10 years doing YouTube, I know a troll when I encounter one. Accounts which never have their own content says it all, really. You know what I mean? Because that's another thing you find with these trolls, right? So, you know, just stop the shit. Let's just get to the bottom of this, you know? I'm not interested in making money. I'm interested in solving shit. Anyway, as for Lechmere being linked to the Thames Torso murders, that is a mystery that is equally hard to fathom, and all I know is if you were to dismember a body, then you couldn't just do it in the street, now could you? So maybe the killer had a premises to carry out these body dismemberments, because you need saws, you know, not just a long sharp knife to do this kind of stuff, because they're all stitched up and everything, you know, put in packages and whatnot, and other people may have been involved in that, you know. I do know that Charles's mother was a cat's meat seller. I'm in no way trying to link Mr. Lechmere to these murders, but, you know, I'm just talking about what I found out. Like I said at the beginning, I'm just explaining a few things that are facts to you. Like his mother sold cat's meat in the street, right? And I don't know if she had a premises to cut up the horse meat, the supply of meats that she got, because they used the old horses from, you know, any horse that was, you know, ready for the knacker's yard. They cut them up, they slaughtered them, cut them up, and it was used in cat's meat, specifically for little pussycats, you know. I'm talking about dogs, but I know they were known as cat's meat sellers. I don't know if she had premises or she had a cart to just simply pitch up in the street, but I've seen pictures of these people, you know, plying their trade, and they have sharp knives and whatnot, you know. So Miss Lechmere Senior, she knew how to use a knife, you know. Maybe her son did too, you know what I mean? So, you know, she has skills with a knife. Plot thickens, doesn't it? I'm talking out my backside, I know. But anyway, that's another thing that's worth looking into more. The cat's meat thing. I'm not so sure about that one. It's just a coincidence, I think. Well, I don't know. There's so much I don't know about Charles Lechmere, but this is what I found out so far. So anyway, to sum up, All Charles Lechmere represents to me is the most fascinating of all the Ripper suspects, and I hope and pray that new information will eventually surface, which could either nail him as the Ripper or prove otherwise. I just want to see this mystery solved because I'm not writing books or anything like that, and financial gain is not my mission here, alright? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and found this interesting, and smash that like button and subscribe. You might notice I am a gaming channel, but I still believe in YouTube's old slogan, broadcast yourself, which is all I'm doing. You always get variety with PEMBY'S Gaming World. Okay, to end this, Charles wants to say a few words.
Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. One day maybe we'll find out about what I got up to all those years ago. Thanks for watching.